rain had not stopped for 3 days when 12-year-old twins, Liam and Lily, stood silently beside a small cemetery overlooking the sea. The fresh mound of earth beneath their feet held the only family they had ever known, their father, a humble fisherman who had spent his life teaching them that kindness was wealth no storm could wash away. "We may lose everything," he often told them, "but never lose your honesty." Those words echoed in their hearts as the last mourners disappeared. No relatives came to comfort them. No wealthy neighbor offered a place to stay. The landlord had already locked the door to their tiny cottage because the rent had gone, unpaid for months. With only a worn backpack, an old blanket, and a rusty lantern, the twins walked toward the harbor, uncertain where they would sleep. As darkness settled over the coastline, they noticed something forgotten by almost everyone in town: a massive wooden shipwreck resting half-submerged in shallow water. Years earlier, a violent storm had pushed the old cargo vessel onto a sandbank, where it slowly sank. Local legends claimed it was cursed. Children were warned never to go near it. To Liam and Lily, however, it looked like shelter. Carefully climbing aboard through broken beams and cracked railings, they discovered that part of the ship remained above water. Inside, a small dry cabin still stood. The windows were shattered, but the roof remained mostly intact. "It isn't much," Liam whispered. Lily smiled gently. "It's home." The following morning, they cleaned every corner they could reach. They patched holes with driftwood, collected rainwater in old barrels, and made simple beds from dry seagrass. Every evening, they lit the lantern their father had left them, turning the lonely cabin into a warm little refuge. Life became a daily struggle. Each sunrise, Liam searched the beaches for scrap metal while Lily gathered seashells and polished pieces of sea glass. They sold everything at the local market. Some days they earned enough to buy bread and fruit. Other days they survived on soup donated by a kind bakery owner who admired their determination. Despite their hardships, they never begged. Instead, they helped others whenever possible. One elderly fisherman injured his leg while repairing his boat. Liam spent hours fixing the damaged nets without asking for payment. Lily often carried groceries for older neighbors who lived alone. Slowly, the townspeople began greeting the twins with warm smiles instead of pity. Months passed. One windy afternoon, while exploring the lower deck during low tide, Liam noticed a narrow doorway hidden beneath layers of rust and barnacles. "Lily, come look!" Together they cleared away years of debris. The heavy door refused to open. Using a long iron pipe as leverage, they pushed with all their strength. With a loud groan, the ancient hinges finally surrendered. Dust filled the air. Inside lay a forgotten storage room untouched for generations. Most of the wooden crates had rotted away, but one enormous iron chest remained sealed. Its surface was covered with strange symbols and thick rust. Neither twin imagined treasure. They assumed it contained old tools or broken equipment. Still, curiosity won. After hours of scraping away corrosion, they forced the lock open. The lid creaked slowly upward. Both children froze. Instead of gold coins scattered everywhere, the chest contained dozens of carefully wrapped journals, leather-bound maps, brass navigation instruments, and several sealed metal cylinders. Everything looked incredibly old. Lily gently lifted one journal. Inside were handwritten notes describing sea routes that had disappeared from modern maps over a century earlier. Neither child understood their importance. "What do we do with them?" Liam asked. Lily remembered their father's advice. If these belong to history, they belong to everyone. The next morning, they carried the heavy journals to the town library. The elderly librarian nearly dropped his glasses. His hands trembled as he examined the faded handwriting. Within minutes, he contacted the regional museum. By evening, historians arrived from the city. Experts carefully inspected every document. Their excitement became impossible to hide. One professor explained that the journals belonged to a famous 19th century exploration vessel, believed lost forever. Historians had searched for these records for more than 100 years. The maps revealed forgotten trade routes. The scientific observations recorded changing ocean currents decades before modern equipment existed. The sealed cylinders contained perfectly preserved charts that historians thought had vanished forever. News spread rapidly. Television crews filled the harbor. Reporters interviewed everyone. When asked why they had not sold the discovery privately, Liam simply answered, My father taught us that history isn't something you own. Lily smiled. It belongs to every child who wants to learn. Their honesty touched millions. The museum officially confirmed the discovery as one of the most important maritime finds in the country's history. Since the twins had legally reported the artifacts, the government awarded them a substantial historical preservation reward. For the first time in their lives, they had enough money to change everything. But wealth did not change their hearts. Instead of buying luxury cars or expensive jewelry, Liam had a different dream. He wanted every struggling child to have a safe place to sleep. Lily dreamed of helping children stay in school no matter how poor they were. Together they purchased a small piece of land overlooking the same harbor where their father had once fished. Construction began. Months later, a beautiful community center opened its doors. Inside were classrooms, a library, a free kitchen, art rooms, and comfortable bedrooms for children without homes. The building proudly displayed a simple wooden sign, Hope Harbor. The twins insisted that no child would ever be turned away. Every evening, they personally welcomed new arrivals. Some children had lost parents. Others had escaped dangerous situations. Many had nowhere else to go. Each received warm meals, clean clothes, books, and something even more valuable, hope. Years rolled by. Hope Harbor became famous across the nation. Teachers volunteered their time. Doctors offered free medical care. Artists organized workshops. Retired sailors taught navigation and fishing skills. The abandoned ship that had once sheltered two frightened orphans became a protected, historical landmark beside the harbor. Visitors traveled from around the world to see the place where two honest children had made an extraordinary discovery. One sunny afternoon, Liam and Lily stood quietly on the deck of the restored ship. The sea shimmered peacefully beneath them. Children from Hope Harbor laughed as they explored the vessel during a school field trip. Liam looked toward the horizon. I wish Dad could see this. Lily nodded with tears in her eyes. I think he already does. The gentle ocean breeze carried the sound of children's laughter across the water. It no longer felt like the lonely place, where two frightened twins had hidden from the world. It had become a symbol of courage, honesty, and second chances. People often said the twins had hauled history from the depths of a forgotten ship. But those who truly knew their story understood something even greater. The greatest treasure was never hidden inside the iron chest. It was hidden inside two hearts that chose integrity over greed, kindness over bitterness, and hope over despair. Their remarkable journey proved that poverty can test a person's character, but it does not define their future. When compassion guides every decision and honesty lights every path, even the darkest storms can lead to extraordinary destinations. And long after the headlines faded, generations of children continued to learn one unforgettable lesson from Liam and Lily's story. The richest people are not those who discover treasure. They are those who use every blessing they receive to lift others higher.